we've been in the trade show space we've had this business 17 years. We've been in the trade show space for 15 years. And one of the things that we just kept seeing over and over and over were small business owners that were doing shows that have their heart and their soul in their business. They're motivated, they're focused, but they're confused about what to do. And they're going into shows and they're just not getting the results they want. And they try a variety of different things. They try giveaways, they try gimmicky things, and it doesn't work out. They're going against competitors, and it's so much on the line that we started to see over the years as we learned it. And we work with a lot of big brands and agencies that go into these shows with a pro level strategy. We just really started to see the difference between these two. And we thought, you know what, we can do something here and really help these people figure it out.
Mm, I love that because it's a whole different world when you go to a trade show as a like a company that has a booth, right? Versus just a consumer that's walking through the rows. Is that
That's right.
right?
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. You're going in there and you've got your setup, you're trying to they want to get leads and sales out. And often they're just kind of trying to get people walking by, and they're out there, they're in the aisle with their flyers and their business cards. And, a lot of them really struggle. And, we just heard from so many people that were coming back saying, oh man, I spent all this time, all this money, and we just didn't really get any leads out of it. So we decided to start doing something about that.
Leads, leads, leads. We all need leads for our businesses.
That's right.
So how do you do this? Like, what is the process? How do you help people get more leads at trade shows?
Yeah, so we have a whole framework. It's a system. Like, I think of it like a recipe. So you do this, and then you do this, and then you do this, and this is the result you get. And so we walk through the steps of the system where we how are you going to get people in your booth? What are you going to say, the key messaging to attract them in? And then what does that conversation look like? And then how do you turn them into a lead? And how do you follow up? And so we have this whole framework that we teach business owners basically start to finish to transform their entire booth into a magnetic lead machine.
Oh, magnetic lead machine. Like that sounds amazing. And like the number one thing that comes to mind, right, is just, oh my gosh, what do I like? Is it something that I can do? Like, is this something like I don't know if I have the capability of doing this for myself. It sounds so easy. You make everything sounds easy because you're the expert at this, right? But like how do you help someone that's like never done that before? Especially when it feels overwhelming and you're in the moment and talking to people and you're just like, I don't even know where to take this conversation.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because it's built on really just fundamentals, like the simple principles that apply whether you're a startup or you're at whatever $100 million a year. I mean, the principles are the same. Service based, product based. It doesn't matter what industry, what you're doing. It always comes down to the same things to have that right messaging to pull your ideal clients in. The way you communicate, the way that you pull them in, the way that you talk to them, the way you turn them into a lead. It's a process. And every time we take people through that, we just see these light bulbs going off where they're kind of like, oh, I get it. I get it now. I get why it wasn't working, or I get what to do. And it's just so fascinating to watch.
Wow. Man, I mean, I could see that transformation because especially what you said, like the messaging, like what do you even say? How do you how do you attract them, right? Because it's nothing more like uncomfortable. It's like trying to chase after a lead or chase after somebody, but allowing them to come to you and almost self-selecting your business as the right offering. What do you think holds people back in this whole process?
I think, one of the biggest things which I'm really alluding to here is I think that they don't have a plan. So they're not really sure what to do. I think often people, business owners or the marketing people, they maybe feel like their business isn't big enough. So even if they have a small booth and they're looking at competitors with a bigger booth, they might feel like, they might just kind of feel like they're not big enough. Sometimes they, maybe they're a little nervous about how to attract people in the booth without being salesy. They don't want to seem salesy, and they don't want to seem like they're haggling people that are walking by. And so I think there's a little concern when they don't have a plan, all those other concerns come up of like, oh, what am I going to do? How is it going to work? But at the same time, I think there's a part of them that feels this potential that it can be really great. So sometimes there's that little bit of they're torn between those different things.
Mm. It reminds me of that saying. It's like the saying is, when you fail to plan, you plan to fail. I love what you're saying because it's like you can't, this is not shotgun. Like you can't expect great results from a shotgun plan, or not even a plan, but just like a thought. Like, I'm just going to go here and do this, and it's going to result in, like, there's no measurement. There's no way to say, what do I need to tweak and adjust and improve so that it goes better next time. And I love your strategy because it's simple, it's straightforward, and it's like, oh, it's just a plan. You're going to give them just a straightforward roadmap for them to make sense of how they're going about sales in a trade show. Like that's amazing. That's a good feeling. It's the amount of confidence, the amount of clarity, and just knowing exactly what to do and when to do it so that you get the right results. Like that's so amazing. Can you share a little bit more about, like, some of your experiences with helping people with this?
Yeah, the experiences have it's just been phenomenal across the board. I think the biggest thing is the how consistent people are with realizing how simple it can be, and how at the same time, if you have no idea how complex it is, right? Like
Ooh.
that kind of, like, we see that a lot where they're trying to come up with all these creative strategies and creative ideas. And one of the things I always say is, well, do you think you're going to trick someone into becoming your lead? Like, are you going to
Mm.
do some giveaway to get them to stop at the booth, and you're going to trick them into becoming a leader or a client? It's like, no, like, I love the dating analogy. It's like you meet somebody and you connect, you build rapport, and you have a first date, you lead to a second date. You don't trick somebody into dating you, right?
Mhm.
And the results out of it have just been phenomenal. We had somebody come through, and there was this guy, and he had done a show in the past. He came through and he said, he's like, it was interesting hearing his backstory. My kids are getting older. They're into their teens. We've got more sports and braces. They're going to college and university. And he had done this show before and didn't really get results. And he was doing the show again. And so he went through and he did training with us. And he went, and this was just weeks ago. He got back to us. He had $1 million weekend. So he went and he lined up $1 million
Wow.
in additional business for the year, and emailed back, and he was implementing these exact things. And as we went through the training, I remember he was having these light bulbs of, oh, I was doing this wrong. Oh, I wasn't doing that. Oh, I see why I was having the wrong conversation. So he could just see how he was doing all those steps wrong, and it was transformational for his business, for his life, really.
Wow. Wow. I mean, just like having an additional $1 million flow from one event. Like how many events, and just even a fraction of that results in like it's life changing security for your business, consistency. I mean, just I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing. What a peace of mind knowing that that's not a million that I need to go chase because I've already done it. Now I can work on my next million. And then the same year. It's so cool. It's so fun.
Yeah. Well, we do an exercise with people where we have them set their goal. And so the goal of the event might be anywhere from 25,000, 50,000, 100,000. We call this framework the six-figure trade show. Now we've got a 7-figure testimonial in there. But it also works at any level. And so sometimes, people are coming in and their goal is 25 or 50,000. But then one of the things that, I really love to share with people is once you have that, if you know that you can do that consistently, well, then you're going to start thinking, how do I just do more shows? Like, how do I, if I could do 25, 50, 100,000 in a weekend, well, could you do one a month?
Wow.
Would you do a couple a month? Could you do how many in a quarter? How many in a year? And the way that can transform someone's business. So as you can tell, I'm pretty excited about it. Having a lot of
Yeah.
fun. It's making a difference for people. It's such a great experience.
You're helping people have quantum leaps. Like that's huge. It's taking them into their dreams and making them real. Like that's just insane. I love your system and love how it's called the six figure trade show because that's so important. Like you said, if your goal is just 25,000 a weekend or an event, one trade show, like let's just so if it works once, it's just going to work again. Oh man. And then you have the entire plan written out, broken out for them, and you're guiding them through the process. This sounds like a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer. And for anybody doing trade shows, because these people are, so many of them, they're investing thousands into their booth, between the booth and their displays. Often they're traveling, whether they're
Wow.
driving, they're getting hotels, some are getting flights. For some people, they might spend 5, 10, 15, even 20,000 in a weekend
Wow.
and not really have a clear plan.
Wow. Whew. This changes business like in a big way because now we're not, you know, we're not reliant on someone else to get us leads. We can just go ahead and build the business that we want and control. Like actually, this is what your offer does, Chris. It is the lever to like six figures, seven figure, like just transforming people's lives. Like you get to decide if you want to take a couple of months and just travel with your family, spend time with your kids this summer, and knowing that you've already secured what you needed for the quarter. Like that is just, oh my goodness, it changes everything. There's control. You regain control by going through the six figure trade show. Like that is amazing.
Yeah, I love the way you think of that, the way you describe that. I agree. It is that powerful. It's that life-changing for a lot of people. And so many business owners we talk to, they're on a cash flow roller coaster. They've got good seasons and bad seasons, and every time we turn around, there's something, maybe it's government or a tax or something somewhere that's coming along and squeezing a little bit, and it so then it becomes, well, how do I get more sales? Like, how do I get more leads? How do I, for them, for their staff, for their teams? So it's a powerful transformation.
What else do you think hold people back?
I think really going back to the plan and being really intentional and clear about all the steps start to finish. So it's kind of like if you have a recipe and you miss an ingredient, what happens?
Oh man. Well, let's not talk about that. I am a baker and a cook and
Okay,
you
so you know what I'm
know,
talking about.
oh yeah, I will try to cook my way through baking, right? Like the measurements, I'm like, I don't need that much baking powder. Don't need that much salt. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's just the worst outcome. 100%. I love the recipe. Yes.
Yeah. So if they're missing one of the steps, you get the people in the booth, you're having good conversations, but then you're not getting leads, you're not following up. Any one of those breaks, the entire thing doesn't turn out. The whole weekend's a waste. It's
Yeah.
like I think of it the weak link in the chain. You got one weak link,
Mhm.
the whole chain is only as strong as the weakest link.
Yeah.
And so maybe people are really great at conversations in the booth, but then they're not doing anything after. So you have to nail, and I think that holds people back is maybe they're just focused on their booth and the displays and how it looks, and they're not thinking, well, that's one out of five pieces,
Mm,
right? So that, and it's not
so
hard.
good.
It's
Yeah.
not, it doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be any of that. It can be actually really simple, easy. But if you don't know, you don't know. If you don't know how much baking powder to put in, if you're like me, can I use baking soda instead of baking powder? Is it still going to turn out? I don't know.
Well, yeah, yeah, that zucchini bread did not make it through the weekend. It just yeah. But yeah, I love that system because you're absolutely right that you're as strong as the weakest link, 100%. You can't get around it. It's actually more work and more energy applied when you have a weak link, opposed to just following the process and just sticking to the system. And your plan is just simple. It's just check, check, check. And what's really cool is kind of like what I'm hearing you say, kind of like riding the bike. I mean, the first time, man, you probably needed some training wheels, you need some handheld guidance. But then after a while, man, you're good. You're going mountain biking, you're doing tricks and flips and things like that, doing the just practicing the same steps, but just having more freedom to just embody who you are. That's really cool.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's funny you say the right. My 6 year old just rode her bike without training wheels last weekend.
Oh, that's so
So it's funny
cool.
you say that one and thinking in that way. And I'm right here. We've got a deck here, and so she was riding all over the deck. And you're completely right. Just a repeatable, simple. I mean that's what people need, and they just need to think in that way. So we're on a mission to share this with more people and change the game, really.
Mm, I love this so much. Okay, so like I know I'm excited about this, and everyone that's going to be listening is going to be excited about this. Where do we go next? Like, how do we learn? How do we get the system?
Yeah, so they can actually we run master classes every week, and they can sign up. They can join our master classes. I'll provide a link, and we do it. It's a free master class. We go on for a few hours. Usually, we have somewhere between 30 and 40 business owners, and it's all levels. Every people on there. We've got uh, businesses doing eight, maybe in multiple 8-figure businesses, some that are startup that are doing local home shows. Last
Yeah.
week we had everything from there was somebody in a business in the UK that sells farm equipment. So their individual sales are probably close to $1 million per sale. And then
Mm,
we had I think there was somebody on that was selling crafts at a home show at a local vendor market. And so it's literally
it's
everything,
awesome.
anything and everything. And then the other cool mix is there's people that have done tons of shows and some that are brand new. So while I'm doing it, I'm asking the people that have done shows, I'm like, for the new people in the group, would you be willing, when I say these things, for you to agree or disagree and put your experiences in the chat? So I'll be like, okay,
Mm,
and I go, one of the first things I go through the mistakes that people make. And I'm like,
yeah.
okay, giveaways. I'm like, if you've done a show before, tell us your experience about giveaways before I say anything. And then all these people that have done shows, they just start going in the chat. Oh, it doesn't work. We gave away this. And like, so then and it's really cool because I say in the beginning, are you willing to share your experience for the benefit of people that have never done a show before? Would you
Oh,
be
I
would
love
you be
that.
willing to save people, that also are spending money? And so then, they agree to do that. And so it's a whole dialogue, and people are asking questions about their business and their challenges. And like I said, there's usually 30, 40 people on, and it's a lot of fun. I would love to, anybody that's watching this that is doing shows, wants to learn more, come sign up, join us, bring your questions. I'd love to have you and share the system with you too.
Okay, great, great. I'm sure we're gonna make sure to list the link somewhere around this video because this sounds amazing. My mind is just I'm thinking about so many people that go to different shows, different events where they have a booth, where they have a table set up. I mean, it might not be this fancy pants, big booth, but it could be a table where you're setting up and you're selling your services, your products, maybe your art, maybe your crafts, maybe it's just like if you're a software company and you're at a trade show, if you're going to conference and you have an opportunity to, upgrade to become, one of the trade show on the trade show floor, like this is an opportunity for you to make money at those events and not just break even, but just make profit, it sounds like. And so that's really cool. Having control over what it looks like to go to an event and enjoy your time, have a great experience, and also make money in the process. That sounds like a win, win, win. Like that's so cool. I love that. I love that.
That's exactly it. I love your excitement. You're as excited as I am about it. It's just it's such a great thing, and just excited to share it with more people.
100%. Listen, guys, go and register for the Six Figure Trade Show Masterclass. This is an opportunity for you to accelerate and transform your life and your business this year with shows. Chris Crawford, he is the king at this. Okay. This is not just like an opportunity you want to sleep on. You want to take action and you want to take action right now. Go ahead and register, secure your spot because you heard like you're going to be in a room with other people at different levels. You never know. They might be going to an event with you, and you could start to build a community of people who are practicing and applying his plan in their business and just transforming the world in their lives. So, thanks so much, Chris. I really appreciate you and just what you're doing and helping people. It's just an awesome experience. I'm so honored to connect with you here. And for everyone else that's watching and listening, guys, go ahead and register right now. Six Figure Trade Show Masterclass with Chris Crawford and his team and transform your life and business right now. Let's go. Take action. Let's go.
Thank you, Melinda.